What's up, guys? Welcome to the chase here. This is where you're going to find my weekly updates. Every Wednesday is when my video is going to hit here, and the other guys have got different days. But today we're going to dive into some of these things we got to get wrapped up because we're headed to Kansas next week. So today we're getting all of our scrape limbs up so we don't have to do that when we get back. Rubbing post any of them that need to be up. We're seeding all of our cereal grains. Hopefully you guys come back every week, every Wednesday, and join me right here, and we'll be talking about all of our tips and our hunting tactics every week. And next week, we might have some of our Kansas hunt on there. We're headed down to Kansas next Wednesday, or it'll be the following Wednesday. You see how we did down there. So looking forward to it, guys. We'll see you every Wednesday right back here. Thank you. Finally got him with a thank you. That's the first one in 2 days. Well, here it is, September 9th. We're down to only about 10 days before I take a hunting trip. So we're going around the farms today, just kind of wrapping up all the loose ends. It's getting to be kind of exciting. Right here beside me, we've got a great scrape already. All along this edge, they've been hitting it. So as soon as they shed that velvet, these babies start popping up everywhere. You can see one whizzed in that there this morning. It's still wet there. Kind of cool. So we're going to go through, trim some stands on this farm. We're going to put up our licking branches on our different scrapes. So get this farm all wrapped up so it's ready to go when we get back from our hunting trip. We're ready just to go hunting. So with no further ado, let's just get right to it. I'm trying to set this cutty back where we can get the most bang for our buck. We got a good scrape right here. This edge is getting hit. And then we just set up the rubbing post right there. So I'm gonna try and put the camera right here where I can get this scrape and that one. So we're just clearing out a little spot right here. Bring old Jose Canseco in. Smell that scrape already. That's awesome. First part of September and we're already smelling scrapes. Gotta love it. This pointed pretty much south. That'll do her. That'll do her, pig. Man, for September 9th, that is a scrape right there. Look at that. We didn't open this up or anything. This is all natural. It's getting to be the size of the hood on your truck already. Can you imagine late October down here? This is going to be a zoo. This tree stand sets up a little iffy. It's got very little background cover. Back cover, I think, is the most important in these tree stands. I've had them before where the tree is terrible. There's no cover, and you have a nice little oak right behind them or something that keeps its leaves all year. Nothing ever seems to look up at you in those situations, but this one is pretty wide open behind us, especially when these walnuts lose their leaves. But the far tree line does stick up above us, so that might help us a little bit. So I don't know. I love this spot. The tree itself is a little iffy, but that's our only options down here for the wind direction we want. So that's where we've got to be if we're going to be down here. You could make this a little better scrape right here if you wanted. You could either zip tie a branch on this, which I do quite often to get the height you're looking for, or you could just take and tie that down where you want it. Tie it about like that, they'd really use that sucker. All the tricks of the trade there, Devin. All right, let's go to the next farm. Holmes.
Waiting on you, princess.
All right, guys, I haven't talked about cereal grains yet. That's another thing we're doing today, is getting our cereal grains out, our wheat, oats, rye, all that stuff. And this is the perfect time to seed that. I like September 1st to about the 10th as the optimal time to get that in. You know, if you plant it early with your brassicas, the stuff gets too tall and stemmy, and then it's just not it's not palatable to the deer, you know, they just don't like it, they don't hit it good. So if it's short and growing, that's perfect. So right now is the time to do it. And I've even seeded the stuff, drilled it clear into October, and you know, if you get mild weather, it'll still come up and you get a good plot. Important part of that is how much you're putting down per acre. I like at least 200 pounds per acre because you want like a nice carpet. You know, if you're only planting 50 pounds per acre like you would if you're going to harvest it, it's just too sparse. You know, there's a blade here and a blade there. It's just, I don't like that. So at least 200 pounds per acre. You can always come back and throw more on. If 200 is not enough, you can come back and throw another 100 on. But at any rate, I also was telling you guys about drilling into soybeans. What an awesome plot that is. And we've got some right here we drilled into. This is the crabs plot, and there's the walnut. Let's check this out. I'll show you how awesome this is. Look at how awesome this is. Now, I probably killed more soybeans than what I normally do because I was just kind of running laps around this. If you're going down the rows, you won't kill as many soybeans as cutting across the rows like this. So not as many beans as I would like, but look how awesome this plot is. You've got soybeans in here. I'll kind of show you what's growing in here. See if we can pick some stuff out. Of course, this is soybeans here. This is your radish. So that looks kind of like a, if you've ever grown a garden and grew carrots, the top of a radish looks kind of like a carrot. So that's how you remember that. Here's your purple top right here. Look at it here, you can see the purple. That's your purple top turnip. Here's what your winter pea looks like. And that's got, it's almost like little hairs on it or something. That's how you notice what the winter pea looks like. What else do we have in here? There's a little clover in here. I don't see any, but boy, they've been hitting it already. Look at some of this. This has all been browsed. This, right there. They're in here mowing away. But you can see how good this stuff is doing. Being in one of my crop fields, you know, it's fertilized for a crop. So it's some good fertile soil right here. Boy, she looks good. With a tree stand right there. Oh, hey, we might as well trim that out while we're here. Gotcha, we gotta trim that out. Awesome spot, death row, that redneck. We've killed some nice ones down here. Pow, baby, pow. All right, let's get to work. You can see why I kind of like my red oak limbs a little more than the white. This was a white oak here, and sure enough, they broke it off. They seem to be a little more brittle than a red oak. It's more pliable. Perfect height, look at that. That's gonna get just massacred. Can't wait. We'll probably be filming right there out of that redneck when this is getting massacred. And by the way, do you remember the split G2 buck last year that came up here, wanted to fight the decoy and all that? I've seen him this year and he's pretty big. He's not on the list because I think he's only 4, but pretty nice looking deer. Well, look at this food plot. This is crazy. Look at this stuff, up 2 feet tall. Now the reason this stuff looks so much better than some of the other that's shorter is this is just plain soil. It's getting all the nutrients, all the water's going to this crop. Whereas, you know, like planting into clover, I mean, part of the clover's taking half of the nutrients and the water, right? So that's why this looks so phenomenal. I mean, plus it's really good soil. This is like 80 CSR ground right here. So it's a good spot for a plot, and this was fertilized for corn, so I mean it's got nitrogen. It should still have from the spring, and P&K was put on with some micros. So plot looks awesome. You can see this stuff, a lot of it's 2 feet tall. Crazy how fast this grows when it gets going. I just wanted to show you this little fish bowl here. Super awesome setup. I'm looking forward to this spot. Now let's go take a look at the Loch Ness plot, and I'll show you how that's going to look different from this drilling into clover. Look at that beautiful radish. Dang deer tore out of the ground already. I'm gonna have to transplant that thing. We can't have that. Dang deer eating all my good stuff I plant for them. Crazy. All right, we're down here at the Loch Ness plot. Wanted to show you guys the difference from that last one we looked at where the brassicas were so tall, and then this, when you're drilling into clover, and I would recommend sparse clover. If you got a real good stand of clover and you want brassicas, you're probably just going to need to kill part of it and then put your brassicas in there. But we didn't do great on our weed control. We got a bunch of smart weed and we got that yellow nut sedge. So next year we're going to have to go to that sedge hammer and get that stuff killed. Other than that, it's clean, but I love the diversity. That's why I just drilled into this, because not only do you have your clover and your alfalfa, but you've got all that monster buck stuff that we put in here, which was purple top, radish, crimson, soybeans. There's one or two other things in here I can't think of, but anyway, you got a heck of a diversity here, and we'll just have Devin kind of show you what this looks like in comparison. I mean, because the brassicas here, crimson, everything else is all competing for, you know, water, nutrients with the clover, so it's not just gonna explode like that other plot did, but it'll be a heck of a plot, and we'll probably kill something down here. It's a good plot. That one did pretty good last year. Got a ton of pictures on it, and they never did break it off. There, we'll let them decide from there. We opened up a couple, but this will be a scrape the size of the hood on your truck by the end of the year.